And we hit gains 30% on One Earth last night. I posted it. It was at 8 cents and 7 cents. Went to 11.7. Went 3 cents on 8.3. It was at 8 7. Went 3 cents on 8.3.
Check, check. Check, check.
Shout out to everyone here on the live stream. Thank you for coming on in. Welcome to the Lifers Cypher. We're doing it big here. We're doing it hardcore. We got a studio going. We got a producer. And this is going to be how you're going to see the show coming on in the future. We have Crypto Muser in the house. Shout out to Crypto Muser. How you feeling today? I just want to say how you feeling. How you doing? That's the first thing I want to say.
Give a shout out to my lifers out there. Good to see all you guys on the chat here. I'm doing good, man. I mean, I'm upstairs in your house, so I'm getting to see my boys. So it's a good day. Honestly, to get off my island, it's always a good day. It's been kind of tough, been cold. You know, been running every morning, but that cold weather really gets to me, man. I wish I was somewhere tropical down in Florida. Maybe it would be nice.
Well, it looks like we'll both have a little bit of a piece of property in Florida within the next year, and we'll probably be not too far from each other. You know, today I wanted to talk about XRP a little bit. I know you deep dive into XRP a lot on your channel. This is the Crypto Muser. He also has a channel. Check him out at Crypto Muser on YouTube. But you know, he's basically all in on XRP. He's been all in since 10 cents, 16 cents, 9 cents. Even him and his brother. They're the XRP brothers, really. The XRP bros.
That's a good
so he knows a lot more about what's happening as I'm running through charts and scrutinizing charts. He's also deep diving. So I just wanted to ask you, what's going on with XRP? I did read, one negative article, but I didn't go into it. I said it was like, in favor of the SEC.
Hold on, they said we got a bad echo going on there.
It's really
Or just both of us. Check, check. Check, check. Hear me now? I have an echo? Technical difficulties. Echo still?
No echo before we went live.
How come I can't hear you that much now? Fix it? That's better. Can you hear me, Sam?
No. Yeah, I can hear you now.
They say it's better now, but I can't hear you that well.
It's not us, man. I don't think it's us, bro.
User sounds better, they say. Very good. Cannot hear Sam now. XRP user. Mic off for lifer.
No, I turn the mic back up. We're good.
There we go.
We're good.
Is that better, guys?
All right.
No echo. Good. Whatever.
All right. All right. I wonder what the echo was. It could be you being picked up on my mic. I don't know. I'll keep my headphones low. That way they can't come back in. Okay, so all right, back into the move. I'm a tech guy. Tech is important to me. When the tech's not right, I can't perform. Like I freeze up. It's like, all right. All right. So yeah, so just like break down what's happening with XRP. They seem to have a big win. Everyone was on their side. The market seemed to come up a little bit. XRP pumped recently. What's going down? Like, what's happening with that case? Because I believe that court case has a lot to do with all of the cryptocurrencies in the space. How our government decides to tackle this situation will really led us to believe how they try to tackle other situations. There's one conspiracy theory right now is the reason why they won't go forward is because they have something hidden up their sleeve, right? Even BitBoy kind of hinted on that, and I agreed with what he was saying. It's like we can see their cards when they don't show us their cards, right? Then we can understand anything slip. So yeah, I just want to find out what you know about the case, what has occurred in the last few weeks, because everyone here, I know you may want to see charts and all you want to do is watch me chart up and make money, but there's more to the market than that. And there's actually more going on. And this will have a lot to do with everybody's wallet right now. So I really would listen to this if I was watching the show right now. Yeah.
So yeah, for sure, this case has everything to do with all of crypto. I mean, you can't, people, that can dislike Ripple, dislike XRP all they want, but the SEC is basically going after the whole crypto community at this point. You've seen Gary Gensler talk about, exchanges, DeFi. I mean, he's not stopping just with Ripple and XRP. I think people are starting to finally get it. You're seeing in the news every day that, either they're coming down on someone else or they're talking about coming down on someone else. So I think finally, this case has been going on for over a year now. I think it was Christmas, I believe, of last year that the SEC brought the case. Now we're sitting here in February of the next year. So it's almost a month and 2 years. I mean, a year and 2 months. And what the SEC basically have done is this was supposed to end last fall, maybe last September. That should have ended. But what the SEC has been doing is playing this delay tactic, right? Where it's like the only thing they have going for them right now, because the facts are against them, the law is against them. But what I think what they're doing is they're trying to basically, because obviously the U.S. economy is the biggest market in the world, right? And Ripple wants it. Ripple is global, but they want to get that U.S. market. So what the SEC is doing, the only power they have in this case right now is to delay so that Ripple can't continue on with business in the U.S. So since last fall, you basically had the SEC asking the judge for more time. They want more time to do this. They want more time to whatever they're doing. But it's amazing the fact that the SEC has asked for so many extensions, but meanwhile they're the ones that brought the case against Ripple. So you'd think they'd have all their ducks in order, but they're making it look like they basically, because I don't know if people know this, but Jay Clayton on his last day in the last administration is when he came down with his lawsuit against Ripple. So basically he brought this huge case, one of the biggest securities cases in the history of our country, basically on his last day in office, and then he just basically the next administration, have fun with this one, basically, right? But then you have a guy like Gary Gensler, who's just a power hungry, I think he wants to be the next U.S. treasurer or something. So he just basically thinks this is like a case for his head, like he can build off of this case and then move on to the treasurer. And, it's all about him. It's about his career. It's about his ego. So I think what Jay Clayton thought was, I'll just drop this lawsuit on the next administration and then let them deal with it. And the fact that they, the SEC from day one really hasn't been on top of their game. They've, like I've said, asked for more extensions on the case. They've asked for, so right now you're in the discovery phase, right? Basically right now both sides are asking the judge which arguments they can be made if it goes to trial, right? So that they'll come up with, different evidence or different interviews with people. And they go to the judge and say, can we use this as evidence, or can we use this person as someone in the case? So the discovery phase is the first part of the case. And it's, like I said, it should have ended last fall, but the SEC has extended it, month after month. And it's been, like I said, 3 or 4 extensions now. So after the discovery phase is over, and I think that they made a date now. I think it's I want to say it's February 28th or 24th or something. After that, then the judge will come down and say, you guys either make a settlement or we continue on the case and go to summary judgment, which would be another 2 or 3 months. But I don't think it's going to go that far. I believe that a settlement will come, because I don't know if everybody has been following this case, but there's these. So if anybody's been in crypto long enough, Bill Hinman from the SEC gave a speech in 2018 saying that Bitcoin and Ethereum were not securities, and that the SEC would not. Basically, he said that Ethereum may have started out as a security when they had an ICO back in, I believe it was 2014 or 15. So they had an ICO, and the SEC hasn't been shy about talking about ICOs and being securities offerings. So basically every coin out there has had an ICO besides Ripple. Actually, Ripple didn't have an ICO, which is funny about this whole thing, because they're saying ICOs are securities offerings, but the big company they go after didn't have an ICO for XRP. So that's just a whole nother argument to be made. But the fact that Bill Hinman said that, Ethereum maybe started out as a security, but then morphed as it got more decentralized as not a security. So by him coming out there, he did say it wasn't the SEC's view. It was only his personal opinion, but the market took it as guidance. Obviously, I mean, I think after that speech came out, I think Ethereum went up 150% in the next couple of weeks. So it's like it definitely had a lot to do with the market. So when Hinman came out with that speech and basically said Bitcoin and Ethereum weren't securities, the market thought, hey, if they're not securities, then maybe we aren't. So kind of like, they didn't say anything else. They didn't say XRP. They didn't say ADA or anything else, but they said ETH and Bitcoin. So it was kind of like, so does that make us a security? Does it make, like I said, does that make ADA a security? Does it make, because if you think about it, Ethereum had an ICO, and then they did basically what ADA did, or like any crypto you put in there, did basically what Ethereum did. So you think that would give them the confidence to go about business, not thinking that the SEC is going to come down later and sue them as being a security. So that's why XRP and Ripple were like, well, you're going to give Ethereum guidance, and maybe, we have guidance. Maybe we're not a security. So the fact that the SEC came out with that speech and they let XRP, trade on the market for 7 years. Coinbase actually came out and said that they had their SEC, they had their securities lawyers look at XRP, and they came to the conclusion that XRP wasn't a security. Yeah. And then they actually put XRP on their platform in 2019. So it's like, as the SEC, how do you let this trade in the open market for almost 8 years? And all of a sudden be like, you should have known for all those 8 years that you were a security, and now we're going to come with this lawsuit. So it just makes no sense,
my thing is everyone, they want their cake and they want to eat it too. Like, they want to regulate with the words he used at the time, but then they want to say that he wasn't the person's opinion that they used to do the regulation.
Well, here's the thing about the SEC. They do this all the time, where if they're coming on the news or they're giving an interview somewhere or on a panel at a conference or something, they always say, this is not the SEC's views, this is my personal opinion. But these guys work for the SEC, and why would you go and give this interview and say these things if you didn't think it was going to be guidance to the market? Like,
another thing I see all the time in America is someone will literally be working for a news station. When you Wikipedia it, you'll see that his brother-in-law, married the woman who works for the organization that he then comes and says, well, they said this is fine. Like, this has been, and it's like, you're citing your own people. Like, you're using it's like the, Las Vegas setting the betting rules. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's been fixed since day one. Like, what happens is these politicians get so much money, they build the organizations they use to regulate the same industries they created. And then they say, oh, look, it's safe, it's all good. Or they do it in finance. They do it in every industry in America. It's sad. And you can prove it because there's GMOs that they won't allow in the food in Europe, but they allow them here. Why? Because those same companies paid for the same organizations that say it's safe to eat. It's not safe to eat. Anyway, it's off topic, but it isn't, because it's all about regulation in America. And regulation in America is really, it needs an overhaul almost in every single industry possible.
Well, and the
That's
problem
the
is,
issue. Like, crypto is showing things that haven't been seen before. Crypto is bringing to light almost every aspect of life that wasn't right. And people don't realize that. Like, I saw that about crypto early. Like, it's such a high frequency industry and has such a high, group of people, working so hard. It's kind of, this is an example. You have regulators that are trying to use like the Glass-Steagall Act and old acts from the stock market from like 1930 to tell us what to do. And then you have brainiacs who are like literally writing code and making elastic, like, oh, this is elastic interest, and you can take this and take that. And literally it's so intelligent that the people trying to regulate it can't even understand it. Like, they don't even get it. And they're like, whoa, what do you mean? Like, what is DeFi? What do you mean I can stake this coin, get another coin, get an airdrop, stake that coin from more, and then I can flip those, then I can turn that into an LP, and then they're like, whoa. Like,
you're hitting the right topic there. So basically with crypto is it's evolving every day, right? So like, how can you come down with some regulation if it's going to change, if someone can just move around that, the next day? So like, I get what they're doing is, they've been slow with it, obviously, but I think finally that there's enough people that are getting involved in this that have educated themselves on the technology, that are kind of getting maybe in the president's ear or like these congressmen's ears, and like finally they're getting it. Because if you've seen like the crypto hearings with the congressmen in the last couple of years, it's usually like I don't know if people saw that hearing with the guy from Facebook, what's his name, obviously, but like it just seems like these congressmen, congress people, whatever you want to call them, didn't really understand the technology at all. So it was like when they had a hearing about crypto, you could tell they knew nothing about it. So it's like, what is this? I'm not going to, waste my time with this. But it's finally, obviously, in the last year, it's grown so much where now they're starting to get it. Like maybe there's a lot of people probably going to vote over this topic. Like maybe we need to get involved in this and figure out what this is. And like I said, you're seeing now on Twitter, you're seeing like Congress people running for congressman, senator, representative, and they're all talking about maybe they're pro Bitcoin or pro crypto. It's like you can see the movement slowly getting better and better amongst Congress, which was a thing that even a year ago was not a thing. So that's going to be a huge thing, I think, moving on to the midterms, is that, usually I say this in my videos, I think it's like 25 to 30% of the population actually vote in the midterms. But if you give them a reason to vote, like if if blockchain is a main issue in this midterm, you're going to get people to vote. And if you're anti-crypto, then those people are going to come out and vote against you. So I think it's finally the Congress is hearing it. And especially, I've mentioned you on your channel a couple of times. John Deaton is he's the attorney that represents 63,000 XRP holders against the SEC. And he put this thing on his website, cryptolaw.com, where it's Connect to Congress, where you can just, he has like a link where you just basically put your address, your zip code, and then write a letter, and it goes out to your senators or your representatives. Like it takes literally 20 seconds. And he's been keeping us updated on how many letters have been going out. I think it's up to like 30,000 letters now, or emails have gone out to every single representative and every single senator. So it's worked. I mean, we just had that recently in a bill. Remember the Competes Act or whatever it was, the China Competes Act. Little part of it where it basically gave the Treasury Secretary full power to ban crypto, basically, right? And what happened was, within 2 days, you had people, writing the senators, you had people calling, you had people tweeting at, and within 2-3 days, they took it out of the bill. Like it actually worked. Like what we're doing is actually working. We need to understand, like within the system, the only power we have really is to write to senators, call them, tweet at them. I mean, I know everybody thinks that sometimes we feel powerless in all this, but there are things that we can do, and they, obviously have worked.
Yeah, well, I want to chime in here. Two things. Rex has a great point. Something actually I was like hypothesizing in my mind. He says, I don't think the SEC is doing any of this to win the case. They just want to discover, to get all the technology for free from the other cryptos to start their own U.S. currency. Look what they can learn by gouging XRP right now. They could probably uncover hidden tech that they maybe wouldn't have any access to see. Are they just using this case to find details to build against? First thing. Second thing I want to say is every time we see regulations in anything, right? People seem to think they don't have a voice. But you have to remember, I'm not trying to be rude. I'd say 85. I think there's 15 to maybe 20%. I don't know, that may be high. But I think there's, let's say 8, And what I mean is I think there's about 8% of the politicians that are real politicians. Like they were raised in Louisiana, their dad did something for the community, and they're like, I'm going to be a politician because I want to help the people, constituents in my community. Like they don't have a voice. I'm going to be their voice, right? Now, the rest of them are really just the kid you met in high school that was trying to run a popularity contest and that likes getting money from the right place. Like they're real easily led people. So they're at the whims of your phone calls. If they really think, like if this whole town just starts going crazy over crypto, they're going to freak out and be like, oh, maybe I should. These people have no backbones. You have to remember that. So like most of them, in my humble opinion,
re-election for them. It's literally all about re-election for them. They want to stay in power. And like you just said, it's a popularity contest. Like think about this. You don't need any experience to be a senator or a representative in anything. You need no experience. All you need to do is run and get your face out there and win a popularity contest. And you get, then you get health insurance. You get a great, salary for the rest of your life on the taxpayer dollar. And you get, you get 10, 15 people around you to do whatever you want, secretaries, it's like, obviously once you get in power, they want to stay in power. So if you actually, like I said, call them, email them, if they think that people are going to vote against them and it's, the crypto community is growing every day. If they think they're going to there's any chance that they lose, then they're going to change their views because, these politicians are like chameleons, man. They change their views every day. And like you said, I think 8% maybe, that's even being nice, I think, that actually care about the people and, or came from a background where they actually want to do something for the country. But yeah, most of them, they just want the power. They like the power. They like to see their face on TV. And like I said, they want to be reelected. That's the biggest thing. They don't care about issues. They want to be reelected. So if there's actually a chance to where they could lose in an election over crypto, you got to believe that they're going to evolve into, being pro crypto. They have a chance of losing. And what you said before about the SEC maybe stealing tech coming after Ripple because they want to steal tech to come up, that's giving the SEC way too much. There's no way. I don't think the SEC is that smart, man. This is a group that basically is run, but I don't want to get in any trouble in the same. But it's a corrupt agency. Let's just put it that way. And the only thing they're trying to get out of this, I think for Gary Gensler, it's to get his name out there. This is a big case for Gary Gensler himself to like I said, become the Treasury Secretary or just make a name for himself. And obviously they make money off settlements. So they want a big settlement. And, you can see the headline now, like SEC settles with Ripple, biggest fine ever, $200 million. And the optics of that would look good for the SEC. But I think the reason why this is dragging on so much is that I think, Ripple and their legal team been so strong since day one. Like, I don't think the SEC really thought that Ripple would give this much of a fight. The SEC is so used to, people just bowing down. Like in any other case, even like Elon Musk with Tesla or Amazon, when they went after these companies, they kind of just like bowed down, paid the fee, and then continued on. But Ripple has been fighting, man. What Ripple wants in this case, and the CEO, Brad Garlinghouse, has said, we know we have the facts and the law behind us. So we're basically, the only way we're settling is if the SEC comes out and says XRP is not a security and that we have clarity moving forward. And I think the SEC is just, on their side, we can't do that. That's going to take power away from us because if XRP wins, then they can't go after other companies. So I think what the SEC is going to try to do is somehow give XRP clarity, but without losing power to go after other crypto, So it's like right now that I feel like the talks and settlement.
You could do a backdoor deal.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen where you're going to,
non-disclosures.
Yeah, man.
NDAs.
And XRP will come out, will be the only one with clarity in the market. And then everything else is basically up for grabs for Gary Gensler and the SEC. And I hate to say it, but that's the reason why the only thing that I could point to that the reason why it's dragging on so much is that the SEC and Ripple have been, they've been talking about a settlement for months now, but it's all about, you know, Ripple coming out with the optics of this, right? Ripple has to get clarity for XRP, but the SEC doesn't want to have the optics of just getting owned by Ripple, which they have been, but they can't let that settle with that idea, because then the SEC loses all power. And you can tell with Gary Gensler, he
pegging a round hole at this point.
Exactly.
Aren't they taking regulations that don't fit the tech and they're trying to cram them in? Like they're trying to make them fit.
I mean, the Howey test,
they don't fit. Like they don't fit. They don't.
Yeah, that Howey test is from 1932 or something. That's how they regulate. That's how they come up with if a security is a security.
That's like using electricity laws when we didn't have, like, you know, LED lights and, you know what I mean? Like, oh, well, that's wasting. It's like, no, we don't use that tech anymore. Those laws don't exist. I'm sure there's some electricity laws out there that, like, you know, like you can't have more than one light on in the house at a time. I mean, back in the day, if you were overcharging a circuit, right, there was some weird law out there. Now it's like, you know, I mean, cars drive themselves now. You know what I'm saying? Like soon you're going to press a button. It's like, so where's the, you know, like, I just feel like some of the regulations we have now will be outdated as tech moves.
Exactly.
Technology eats through regulations. For instance, you could Google this, but, and it's a simple thing and it's a little cliche, but it's just an easy way to see it for people that aren't thinking in this manner. The car came out, and the horse and buggy people were doing great, right? They were charging money for a horse and buggy ride. They didn't want a guy with a car. Think of all the horses. Guys had horses. Guys were breeding horses for their next, you know, for their horse and buggies. Guys had already invested maybe in another stable. One guy was like, oh, I'm going to have 40 more horses and my business is going to grow. And he was ready for his next, right? And then all of a sudden here, what? This is new car. What do you mean? I'm going to have to get rid of all these horses that I just paid for? Like, what do you mean? The stable's not going to, my business is going to. So what they did is they try to tell people like, oh, it's going to mow people down. Like these cars are dangerous. And like, they knew people in the law book, right? The guys who owned all the bug carriages and stuff. So they were like, all right, write a law in that says a guy has to walk in front of the car with a sign. Literally, when the car first came out, so you had to have 3 people operating it. They were like, make it real hard. Because so they're like, you have to have a driver, you have to have like a watcher, and you have to have like a guy in the front of the car with a sign. Like, go Google this. This is real stuff. Like, I mean, once everyone started using the car, they were like, all right, like and this is what's happening right now. We're living by horse and buggy laws, but we're all trying to get to the moon. And it's insane. Like, it's insane. And like the fact that they try to hold on, because when you look at it all, it's about progression. And when you see that a group of people don't want to help you move forward, like other countries are going to move forward. Like I love when they try to hold regulation, because you could just laugh at Gary Gensler and the SEC and just look at them and be like, okay, do whatever you want. Like hold as much control as you want. Shake us down while the rest of the world sails away, and you watch America fall down into a third world country when it comes down to, comparison to high tech and financial progression. So like,
that's the big thing.
They'll be looked at in history as clowns, right? And so like, where do you want to be? Like, you got to look at whenever you're doing something in life, if you're going after your personal want and ego and what you need, you're obviously going to be probably looked like a clown in history. And like, if Gary Gensler is going for a name for himself or trying to, push himself out there, it's like people get remembered by the whole, right? A lot of people actually, when they were alive, we don't even remember what they did, but it was such a big idea that then when we were died, people were like, oh my God, look what oh my God, like this guy had it all along, because his vision was bigger than himself. He knew that something he did was going to be remembered by the whole. That's what Gary needs to figure out. Yeah. He needs to find how he can be remembered in history and not just how he can find his name in U.S. history. He should want to put his name in the world history, in global history. We should be looking bigger to help the whole race. Too many people are trying to hold their little portion of the earth down. Like, we're all trying to grow here. Like I'm so sick of it. Like, that's why I push every day on my channel. My passion comes from the idea that we cannot let people who don't have the world's general good at heart control the world.
Well, here's the idea I've been thinking about with this executive order that Biden's supposed to come out with in the next couple of weeks or so. So I said this on my channel the other day, and people have been saying this on Twitter too. So I'm not like the first one to say this, but if you think about it, with like I was saying before, the midterms are coming up, right? And the Democrats have been, it looks like they're going to get killed in the midterms by the Republicans. It just, you can tell. It's usually what happens anyway, but it just looks like they're going to get ruined, right? So if this executive order came out and Biden was against crypto, was it some like if they come out and said something like, a lot of cryptos out there are securities and we need to regulate more or whatever. If it was anti-crypto, if this executive order was anti-crypto, they would just be digging themselves into a bigger hole, right? It would make no sense. So if you think about it, what would make sense if he comes out and says, basically along the lines, if he says, this technology is here to stay, we need to lead in this innovation. We see Russia and China trying to do these things, and we need to, step forward and be a leader in the world, right? So I want all the agencies, all the regulatory agencies to get together and come up with some real framework, find the pros and cons of crypto, talked about Bitcoin mining, how can we make it more sustainable or whatever. But like the next couple months, I want all the agencies to get together and come up with some framework for regulation in the next coming months.
Well, that's the thing. I had my own kind of vision into kind of how government works this year. And I found, talking to lawyers and people, that they don't work well together because they're all trying to get a name for themselves. So like the SEC won't talk to the IRS as much as you think. And this government won't talk to this as much as you think. And they don't share information like they're supposed to because they're all trying to if that guy finds something else, then he's going to get the headline. I want the headline. Like, I want it to be me with the headline. Like, they're all chasing headlines and they're not chasing like the overall good.
That's the biggest problem with these regulators. There's like there's a FinCEN, you got CFTC, you got the SEC, you got the Justice Department, you got the Fed. It's like, guys, we should have one or two regulatory agencies for financial stuff. And then everybody get together and communicate, because you can't have, FinCEN came out and said XRP was not a security, it was a currency. Then the Justice Department came out a year later and said that it was a currency. And then the CFTC came out and said it was a commodity. But then the SEC is coming out and saying it's a security. It's like, how? And then they're trying to say, and then the SEC comes out and says there's clarity in the market. What are you talking about? Like, how can there be clarity when every regulatory body is giving us different guidance? So it's like, get together. And that's what I think this executive order is going to be. It's like, get together and figure this out, because we need to lead in this technology. And the US has been lagging. And you think about the internet boom, right? America led in that technology. That's why we have companies like Amazon and Google and Facebook, and they're American companies.
I just had a crazy realization. Like, I get these thoughts and they come fast, right?
Give it to me.
I sometimes have to spew them out. I don't mean to interrupt, but the idea is this: crypto moves so fast, right? Right? Everyone can agree, right? Every month we're behind is like a year going to take us to get ahead of the country that's moving forward right now. Because like, we're right here. Crypto moves fast, everybody. So like, the country that's letting the regulations, like, they're doing this while we're still playing games. You get it? And like, we don't, like, that's a boat is sinking. It's as serious as this. Like, a boat is sinking right now. Like, our economic boat is sinking when it comes to like progression. Like, I'm not even going to talk about inflation and all that, but like we need to get together and make this happen quick so we can start moving. And every country that's moving, they're going like this. And when we finally get it right, they're going to be like, and that tech is moving. So every month is like a year in this industry. Like, we don't have the time to play this game. Like, we really don't.
Really don't. That's so true. And you see countries like Singapore, Japan, the UK, even China. I mean, China can say all they want that they're not getting involved in this technology, but they definitely are. I mean, we
also,
know for
sure. What moves industry, right? It's coders, right? It's programmers. China has more programmers per capita. I researched recently. Like, we're not producing these people in America. We're producing TikTokers. And, again, I'm an influencer. I like it, but I bring the tech to it. Like, one day I will design my own coin. Like, I'm not just a face in a voice. Like, I'm trying to bring the intellect behind it as well. I think you need both, right? You need to get out there, do your hair, nice. But at the same time, you got to have the meat and potatoes behind you, right? That's the difference between this channel. We really bring the meat and potatoes. We're not just like, I know one guy, like, I wouldn't even say it, but there's some crypto people, they just read the news and like, they got 60,000 followers. Oh, we love you. Like, he's reading the news every day. Like, he's not bringing anything new to the table. So I just, we're at a place now where I just feel it's kind of similar to what I'm seeing up, with the truckers. It's, which I don't want to go too deep into, but where people just feel like, hey, when can we be free? Like, when can we be free? Like, I want to build a crypto sandcastle without the government staring over me every 5 seconds. Like, and the government treats everybody like they're a criminal. Like, I don't like that. Like, What's up with that? Like everybody's a criminal. No, like there's a small amount of people that are criminals. Like for instance, this is another thing I don't like. Every single time crypto comes out and you got a Janet Yellen or an Elizabeth Warren, they come and start talking about how it's the most money laundering and people got money. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Like at one point, the dollar is laundered more than anything in the world. There's the dollar underground right now. Like I can find every Bitcoin that ever existed on the blockchain right now. Yes, people can move it around. There's tumblers, there's ways, but at the end of the day, like once you corner someone and get their IP, like recently they have found, people doing things they shouldn't be doing through they did it through Bitcoin. They were able to track them, So like Bitcoin has actually helped people get tracked when they never would have before.
And that's the biggest thing.
It's a tracking device for crying out loud, and they're telling you it's a money laundering device.
Literally,
against everything that makes it what it is. Like it shows again how they don't know what they're talking about, right? So, if I hear that one more time, like 0.0, I think you brought. I was watching your channel actually. I think you said like a very small percentage of crypto are actually, laundering. Like most of crypto is actually pretty legit.
It's one of the most transparent things, dude. You can't hide. You can hide, you as your name maybe, but that money is right. Like you can't hide it. It's there. So like they keep saying all they want that it's for money laundering. It's for hiding, whatever. But it doesn't. That argument is like 4 years old. You can't come up with that same argument. And you think Elizabeth Warren, what a fake she is. I mean, the fact that she was saying that she was against the big banks for the last whatever years, and now she's basically hating on crypto and talking for the banks now. It's like you've been a fraud this whole time, obviously. But I want to get back to the SEC versus Ripple case for a second. The biggest thing about this case is that if the SEC actually thought XRP was a security, right, they would have stopped the sale of XRP. During this lawsuit, Ripple has sold millions and millions of dollars worth of XRP. So if they actually thought that XRP was a security, they would have sought an injunction at the beginning of this case and stopped the sale of XRP. So what they basically did is they stopped the sale of XRP for retail investors because we can't buy it on exchanges, and even some people have it locked up in retirement funds and locked up in some exchanges where they can't even touch it. But Ripple, the company, and Jed McCaleb has, we all know who Jed McCaleb is. He's been selling XRP too. So you have Jed McCaleb selling millions of dollars worth of XRP. You got Ripple selling millions of dollars worth of XRP. But the everyday investor, the retail investor, is getting screwed. So if they actually thought XRP was a security, then they would have stopped Ripple from selling XRP. And the fact that they didn't just tells me that this case has nothing to do with XRP and has everything to do with power. They want to have power over the industry, and they went after Ripple thinking it was going to be, like I said, another bow down to us. We're the almighty SEC, and you guys should know better. So the fact that they didn't, it just tells me they were not ready for this fight, and Ripple's really giving them a fight. And I think, like I said in the beginning of this, that the rest of the community, the rest of the crypto community, is starting to see that as much as I can be against Ripple, I can be against XRP or whatever, but they are fighting for all of crypto, and it's just good to see.
Now, well, another thing is, did Brad Garlinghouse and Gary Gensler or someone, is there some bad blood there that you know of? Like, were they like high school? Like, did they go to the same college or their ages may not be exactly the same. Did they pass each other at a summit? I believe there's a little bit of,
what's funny about that is that Gary Gensler, I think everybody thought when the Democrats took over and everybody heard that Gary Gensler was going to be the new SEC chairman. You saw people were pulling out these, lectures he was given at MIT, that he was, very pro, understood the technology, was very pro crypto. So everybody kind of thought, hey, this guy, he knows the technology. Maybe he's going to be, move us in the right direction. But the exact opposite happened. As soon as he took power, it was like, he was like Kim Jong Gary. He was like, I'm coming down for crypto. I know the technology. I know it's bad for the big banks. And he's a Goldman Sachs guy. I think he was one of the youngest board members in Goldman Sachs when he was like 19, 20 years old. So he's been working for the big banks for his whole life. So I think what's happening is he got into the technology and taught at MIT, but I think it was more along the lines like he was trying to educate himself so he could try to stop it. So like I keep saying, like he's trying to make a name for himself. But it's funny that we all thought that he was going to be pro crypto, and then he got in and was like, he couldn't be further from the truth. But also, I've heard before they took office, Brad Garlinghouse, CEO of Ripple, and even Chris Larson, the owner of Ripple, they talked about how we can't wait to talk, can't wait to sit down with Gary Gensler and see how he wants to approach this. I mean, they've been talking with the SEC for over a year, so it's not. And Gary Gensler keeps saying, "I wish these exchanges or crypto projects would come into the office and talk to us, and we give them some guidance." But it's been the opposite. They haven't. You go to them. Look at what happened with Coinbase. Coinbase went to them and was like, "We want to come out with this lending project. Give us some. What do you think about it? Blah blah blah." And they ended the meeting, and Coinbase thought maybe this, we could do this. And then all of a sudden, the next day, the SEC basically threatens Coinbase. It says, if you come out with this lending product, we're going to sue you. So it's like,
I just had a chill up my spine, because you watch Money Masters and you wonder, is the International Monetary Fund, is this all coming from the same place? You get it? Like, do they have some people in every government regulation? Because every time they see us trying to make our own currency, they lose control. It goes back to Colonial script. And that's why I'm pushing this idea now. Bitcoin is the new Colonial script. I want to push this hashtag, because what it will do is it'll make young kids that don't have any idea what's going on. And honestly, it lets me know there is something scary in America. Because when I even bring up that movie, I get a little scared inside. Like, I get like I'm like telling people something that maybe I shouldn't be telling people. It's kind of like this, like, and it's just a documentary. You can even watch it on YouTube. Like, it's right there. It's on IMDb. Like, it's a known documentary. But the information in that documentary, really, like, I mean, it's like going down the rabbit hole. Well, it's so different to your own reality. You wonder if it's true, but it is, because it's factual and you can see it. So I just want to push that hashtag indirectly. Bitcoin is the new Colonial script, and people be like, what is Colonial script? Then they'll Google it, and then maybe it'll get them on that path of breadcrumbs, because a lot of these people, I think they're doing things, and when you look at them, I don't think they understand fully what they're doing. I think they're being influenced by like the man in the shadows. I think there's someone there kind of pushing buttons indirectly in ways they don't realize it. Some people are part of it. Some people don't get it. Some people are in it and just don't know where they are inside of it all.
And the thing is, what's I forget. I posted this on my video a couple of days ago, but I forget who it was saying this. But it's like you have a technology like this, right? Crypto, right? And the banks are, you look at the last 10 years. At first, they were saying, "Oh, that's Bitcoin's going to zero. That's nothing, right? We don't need to worry about that. That's fake money. We don't have to worry about it." And then you saw them all of a sudden, it's actually growing. We need to stop this, right? Then you see them try to ban it, or maybe put news articles, talking crap about it, to badmouth it, right? And then you see them finally, maybe this is actually happening. Now we got to run it. We have to somehow, make our money in this, or like maybe, take it and make it our own. So it's like you see this evolution of them, like first saying it's nothing, it's not happening, and then all of a sudden, it is happening. Well, we have to ban it. We need to stop it. Oh, we can't stop it. Well, we need to get in there and try to run it ourselves. But the thing about crypto that's so great is it's decentralized. They can't own it. They can't own Bitcoin. So they're trying so hard to stop this and maybe get their, to own it, or to make so they can run it, and not, obviously banks have owned the market for how long now with their fees and their, people actually think putting your money in the bank and saving money is like, oh, that's what I should do. And I should make money and then throw it in a savings account. It's like, all you're doing is putting your money into a savings account so they can take your money and make money with it. And meanwhile, they don't give you any.
Gary got the goldfish. That's funny.
Like once people realize that you don't have to, like, putting your money in a bank is just giving bankers money. Like, they're taking your money and lending it out and making interest.
Yeah.
Making billions of dollars off your money, and you're getting nothing. You're getting 0.01% or whatever the hell they give you. And then once all of a sudden, these DeFi products are coming out where you can, I can make 6 to 10%, putting my money in a very, low risk asset. Not like, I'm talking about like stable coins and stuff like that. Like, why wouldn't people do that if they can actually make, it's like banks have basically not shared their profits with their customers ever.
Not only have they not shared the profit, they haven't shared.
They try to screw up too.
It's like they know how the pond works. They know how the lily pads grow. They know how it all works, and they choose not to let you know. When crypto got created, it showed me how the financial system worked. I didn't know all this stuff.
And they've had the monopoly.
I didn't realize there was lending. I didn't know there was liquidity. I didn't realize that's how it started. But you go to a big guy, he has liquidity. Watch this. I'm going to blow everybody's mind. Ready? Big governments are all around you. They have tanks. It's 2008, right? There's world governments, right? They have nuclear weapons. They have tanks. They have billions, trillions, right? We don't even know how much the Rothschilds even own. Like their wealth is off. Like I read that in the late 1800s, they owned 50% of the world's wealth in the late 1800s. Right now, I think they own probably everything in the world without you realizing it. Like they have a banknote on it somehow, some way. Like they basically own everything. Like they even let someone worth 100 million think they're rich. They're like, oh, that guy's worth 100 mil. He thinks he's rich, but we're behind him with like trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars, right? So Red Shield, if you go. But now what I want to say is that watch this. This is going to blow everybody's mind. I had this amazing epiphany just now. It's 2008. You're a little dude in your house, and you're one of the smartest people in the world, right? You don't have a nuclear weapon. You don't have trillions of dollars. You don't have an army. You don't have a bank, right? But yet you created. Now, what would you create? Now, what could you do? Like, well, the only thing you could do is to create a code so beautiful, so strong, so amazing that no army, no nuclear weapon, no banking system who has been holding down the human race for 500 years could understand how you created that code. Like, you realize how insane Bitcoin is? Like, it circumvented nuclear weapons. Think about it. These banking cartels would never, ever allow me to make a few $100,000 off my pocket. Like, look at me, a young kid. I made hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like, not to brag, but I shouldn't have done that. I should be at a 9 to 5, go back to work, you know? Boom.
I think that's a main
on the train, you know, like, but no, I'm free. Like, and cryptocurrency made me free. Like, I'm here right now on my channel. I work 7 days a week. Like, I don't have to go to work tomorrow, Monday morning. I get to do my live stream and go over cryptocurrency. Like, Bitcoin did something that, no weapon could have done, no army could have done, no countries have done. Like, fathom that. Like, let that sink in.
You're so
unreal.
Right. It's literally
unreal.
It's literally woken us up from a dream that we've been living in. The fact that we think that, banks have had the monopoly on all the currency for how many years now, and all of a sudden Bitcoin comes out where it's, like you said, the ordinary people can just, make hundreds of thousands of dollars without the help, without going through the bank's fees and all this bullshit that they try to, get you. It's like they've had this monopoly of basically treating their customers like crap and getting away with it. And that's the only option we've ever had. But the fact that we now have crypto where you can actually put your money in something that is even safer than putting it in the bank, but also it's not controlled by anybody. So you don't get these crazy fees. And, I can argue about Ethereum gas fees, but at least, if the people are against that, they're going to stop using Ethereum.
The revolution will be tokenized. I love that. That's the greatest thing I ever heard. You're the man. I love that. Revolution will be tokenized.
That's so true, because once you start tokenizing real estate, art, like we have NFTs, think about what's happened in the last year. I don't think even us who've been in crypto for so long could actually think that we'd move this fast in a year. We have NFTs.
I heard Warcraft was using laundering. That's so funny.
Yeah. But the fact that this has grown so fast, and look, like in my last video, I talked about we're going to have like 4 or 5 crypto commercials in the Super Bowl this year. I mean, years ago, we talked about how wouldn't it be so awesome if we had 1 crypto commercial in the Super Bowl?
There's going to be a bunch. I heard they're going to take over
4 or 5. There's literally
like 4 or 5 of them. I mean, you got Tom Brady, like you got Matt Damon, right? You got like.
It's literally taking over. And the fact that it's grown this much in the last year.
What's this controversy? People trying to call Matt Damon a scammer now because he's on crypto.com commercials.
Well, you heard that Tom Brady quit his job to join crypto, right? That's why he retired. It wasn't about.
I'm telling you right now. I have a vision one day, and maybe on this channel, maybe on another channel, I'm going to be sitting.
Oh, that'll be the day.
With Tom Brady. It's going to be an interview. It's going to be the great. It's going to everything I've ever put out there has occurred. I'm telling everyone right now, it's going to happen one day because you're from Massachusetts and you became a well-known crypto guy. And he's like, and we're like, yeah. And then he's going to come on the show and we're going to talk. And I'm telling you, man, I will interview Tom Brady and we're going to go over cryptocurrency. And like, that's a dream of mine. Like, you know, it's just a little thing that I hope to achieve one day. A little cool.
But Sam, that's not that far-fetched, man.
It's not. It's not. It's not at all.
Crazy about that. That's what's so crazy. Oh man, I'm gonna miss Sam so much.
I'm on my way. He's already there. We're just gotta get there. You know, it's fun to have dreams. It's fun to have visions. It's fun to see yourself somewhere else. It's fun to project where you're going to go. When I worked a 9 to 5, I was always like, oh, I'm going to be here next week. You know, like I had some thoughts and ideas, but like, you know, and then I would see friends that were starting a company like, yeah, we're all going to go to LA next week. Like I'm flying Julie out and then Bob, we're going to start this. And I was like, oh, I'd love to go. But like, I got to be at work next week. And like, you know how many people I was around that were amazing that like invited me somewhere and they're like, yo, you should bring your drone. Like we can get you involved. And I'd be like, yeah, I'd love to be there. But like, I'm going to go push buttons and sit at the desk that I sit at every day instead. And every time I said no to those things, I was wondering, what am I doing? Like, why am I so stuck to this? You know, my wife said to me, she said, you know, we had children, you had life, and like, I didn't work, you had health insurance. Like you had to do what you had to do for your family, you know?
Yeah. That's
what we all have to do. And we get stuck in these pockets.
That's the thing. The system is made to keep us in this stuck in the system, right? It's like, that's how they made the system. And it's worked for how many years now? So the fact that crypto is kind of breaking through that structure is what's so powerful about crypto in the first place. Like when I got involved in crypto, I didn't just get an education in crypto. I got an education in world finance. All of a sudden I knew how the stock market worked. I knew how you know, dividends and just everything that it opened the door to a world that I never knew existed, right? You always think it's, you know, that, you know, what they do is so complicated. I could never learn that. But they make, you know, they give these words to things to make people feel like they can't figure it out. Like stockbrokers, they have words for things like anything, but they just make you think that you're too stupid. You can't do what we do. But meanwhile, once you figure out what's going on, you're like, wait a minute, this isn't that complicated. They're just, you know, they're trying to keep us out of this. So once
I go back to the idea that if you could pull up my Instagram account, Porta, and where I was building if you can find the picture where I'm building a walkway on my Instagram account, if you can find that. But I moved into my dad's old house 2 years ago. Okay. My dad's like, I'm 75 years old. He goes, I can't even check on the roof anymore. He said, the house is going to fall apart. If you don't move back home and take care of it, I'm going to sell it. He said, you know, and I love the house. It's a place I really like and I care about. And in my mind, I was like, man, I would hate to lose the ability to go there. So I had a long talk and I had to sit with my wife and I said, I guess I'm going to leave New York City. You know, and the pandemic kicked me out anyway. And I lost my job and it all was, but I was planning on leaving anyway. But the point of the story is I smashed the asphalt, had no idea what I was doing. I've never done brickwork in my life. I've never mixed cement in my life. I've never done anything of that sort. Like, I mean, my grandfather's a bricklayer and I come from that. So you think, oh, it's in I'm a green, you know, I'm a concrete thumb. I don't know what you would call that. Like I'm just known to do this stuff, but I had no clue. And like, I broke the walkway. And then I sat there and looked at dirt and I was like, oh, I can't walk into my house now because it's a dirt pathway. I had to use a different door. I'm like, I didn't think that through too well. Like I just broke the stuff, but I learned how to build a walkway from scratch. Like I learned how to pound the ground with a pounder. You know, I learned how to get out stones with different types of tools because you can't just use a shovel. You got to like work around the stone. And like people came out of nowhere and helped me. Some guy said he was going to do it, but then he like set it up for me and he grabbed some rocks from around my neighbor property and said, maybe we could do it like this. And then he left some like twine and some sticks and he left. And he said he was too busy. He could never finish it, but he left his sticks and his twine and he gave me the idea. And I said, what was he doing with the sticks and his twine? And then I started playing with it. Right. And then I realized that like, oh, like you do 1/4 inch per 1 foot draft. And then I started doing, okay, 3 feet. Then I'm going to have to be, you know, 3/4 inch. And then I started doing the math and then I'd be up late at night writing math down. And I was like, and my wife was like, what are you doing? I was like, well, I got to get it right. And like, I was like, if it starts here and I go down there, like, this has got to be perfect. You know, it's got to be done right. And keep scrolling down, keep scrolling down, keep scrolling down, keep going. You'll see a time lapse of me building this thing. Just keep going down, keep going down. But keep going, keep going. It was a while back now. But and the whole point, maybe it got deleted. You never know, because they were cleaning up my channel. But oh, there it is. There it is right there. Yeah. Bang. But yeah, and then it was on a curve. And when it goes on a curve, then you actually have to start slicing pieces. Then pieces didn't work. I had to buy a giant saw and like cut through. The whole point is just like finance, I thought I couldn't do it. Just like finance, it was something I never done before. Just like trading and cryptocurrency, and it was something that I had, and I thought it wasn't for me. And I thought, but once you get immersed, I believe in God, I believe in the power of you. And look at me in there, just building away a walkway. Like my back hurt, my knees hurt. It was crazy work. I'll be honest. Someone who does that every day, I have so much respect. But like we can do, and one that was big for me. I don't ever realize that because my life kind of got torn apart. And my wife lost her father to COVID, and we were going through a lot. But when I built that walkway, I kept telling myself, man, you can do anything you put your mind to, man. And like I cried over that walkway looking at it a few times. And like I stuck an ounce of silver somewhere hidden in there. There's an ounce of silver I hid in there just for my own little thing. But the point of the story is we can do anything we put our minds to. There's no stopping any of us here on this channel. There's no stopping Muser. There's no stopping. We can do anything we put our beautiful minds to. We can take governments down. We can live beautiful lives. We can push positivity through the universe, and we can learn any subject matter that we want. And nobody can tell us what life we should live and what direction we should go on. And once you have passion, and what passion is an energy you can't control that forces you to be what you want to be. An energy that you can't control that forces you to be who you want to be. And like I grabbed that energy and I went all in, baby, you know, and I still feel it now every day. So don't let anybody tell you can't do something in life. And they scare us, like Muser was this kind of broad, but they scare us with finances. Like we can't figure this stuff out. Or it's not meant for us to trade options. And while they sit there and drive, you know, live in mansions and drive Mercedes, and it is for you. And anything you want is for you. And nobody, I say this every day, but nobody knows how great you are but you. My family believed in me. I say this every day now a lot because my family, my wife loved me to death. She did not think I could create a multi-million-dollar YouTube channel out of my basement, but I did. My parents, like, they believed in me, but did they really believe? I did, though. My twin sister, all my family members, like, you know what, though? Muser did believe in me, and there will be some random, you know, sometimes it's not your family members or your closest friends. It's certain people in your life that see you for who you are. Like, he saw when I had 400 subs, he's like, you're going somewhere, man. You're going to go somewhere. He's like, I can't see how you won't become successful. And he said it to me every day. And there was days I was really depressed. Like I was hoping I'd get to 1,000. I stood at 500. I was like, no one watches my channel, man. I was like, nobody cares about me, bro. Like I would say it to him. I was like, I don't like, and he'd be like, stop, man. He's like, that's not true. Look at the other people that did it. You're just having a down day today, but you know, tomorrow you're going to feel better and you're going to keep pushing, you know? And those people you need in your life, get rid of negative people. Only keep positive, supportive people in your life. I cut out, because every time you cut out a negative person, there's a spot waiting for someone that's waiting to build you up.
That's so true. It's one of the biggest things in life, dude, is you know, you start off with all these friends when you get out of high school or college, and it's all about, you know, some people just drag you down, man. And it's about letting them loose. Sometimes it's the hardest thing to do. Maybe it's someone, a family member sometimes, but it's a hard thing to do in life for sure, is those people that drag you down, man. Sometimes you got to let them loose, man. And it's the hardest thing for sure, but it's about positivity. So if someone's dragging you down, if you're here, you know, and they just keep dragging you down, they're stopping you from, you know, reaching your goals. Sometimes it's the hardest thing to do for sure, but you got to let them loose. But let's get back into this case. So let's open the chat for some questions, because I saw someone say, is this interactive? Can we maybe we can pick out some questions?
I mean, Roddy Robbins says you are who you surround yourself with, right? People said thank you for being inspirational. Yeah, Dave tells you to eat ramen for the next 10 years while the shyster drives in a Beamer. I don't know what Davey's talking, but like I'm in healthcare. I truly enjoy my job, but this environment is sucking the life out of everyone. Being in crypto is such a blessing. Buck Nasty. Yeah, let us know. Turn this into an AMA. I can't wait to have more time with my son. Bitcoin and crypto will do this for me. I know this. Talk about and that's another thing, because of the profession I chose, because I told the 9 to 5 to go off, you know, I said, no, I'm done. You know how many days I get to spend with my kid? You know how many days I get to hang out with my wife? You know how many times I get to just take my family on a walk on the middle of the afternoon because I don't work a 9 to 5, go to the beach, take them to Florida. I didn't have to ask a boss if I could have time off. And while I was in Florida, I saw people sitting next to each other. It was a couple, and they were like, and she was like, I might have to go back in next week. And he's like, what did he say? Like, she's like, well, we've been remote, but like, it looks like the whole office is coming back in. And I'm like, wow, like their lives are controlled by some dude telling them to go somewhere. Like, I was like, I won't ever have to live like that. Like, I was on the beach, like, I'm just not going to do that anymore. Like, and it's a decision. It really is a choice. It's a choice, Can you take a look at Litecoin? People want, I'm not doing TA.
Let's just give the update of what's going on in the case right now in the SEC Ripple case. So right now, the judge came down and said that the SEC need to release the Hinman emails, right? There's like 60 drafts of the email that went out to different people amongst the SEC and maybe even some private citizens, which most people are thinking that those drafts maybe went to Joe Lubin, who is one of the co-founders of Ethereum and the CEO of Consensus. And what I think is going to happen, and this is my idea, and a lot of people are saying the same thing, is that in those drafts, the SEC is basically trying to keep us away and keep Ripple away from these drafts. Because what I think is in there is, I think Ethereum and the Ethereum Foundation had a lot to do with what was in that speech, because obviously it gave Ethereum a free pass. Basically, it was like Ethereum, Bitcoin are the only ones that aren't securities. So the fact that Bill Hinman, the guy who gave the speech, was getting paid by a law firm that represented the Ethereum Alliance, he got paid like $14 million by his law firm, his ex-law firm that was basically working for the Ethereum Alliance. And so there's, like I said, there's 60 drafts of these emails about that speech, and the SEC is trying to keep Ripple away from it. But the judge has already said, you need to release these emails. So now what the SEC is doing is basically appealing that decision that the judge made. So now it just goes another, 2-3 weeks down the line where the judge will come back and be like, no, you have to release those emails. And then what the SEC can do again is appeal to the Second Circuit Court. So basically they can just keep dragging this on. And I 100% think that there's no way we're going to see those emails, because I think there's some serious damaging information in those emails. So I think what the SEC is doing right now, like I said before, is they are delaying this as long as they can until the judge is finally like, you have to release these emails, like you have to do it. And then finally the SEC will be like, let's settle, because there's no way they're giving up those emails. So in the case right now, it's like they're trying to get past this discovery phase, right? They've delayed it so long now, where now it's the SEC is basically, it was supposed to end at the end of February, but now the SEC keeps saying, well, now we're going to appeal. We're going to keep appealing this decision. So it's like literally this is the final stand that the SEC is making. And they can only do this for another couple, like a month or so, a month and a half, until they finally have to release these emails. And I just do not think that they will ever release those emails. So that's why I think a settlement is on the way within the next month. I just don't see those emails. 100% there's something in them that are damaging to their case.
Interesting. That's really good insight, man. I appreciate you. That's why I choose just not to read it. I can just call you once a week, and I'm going to know everything about the Ripple case. I mean, I know you're on it. I mean,
and just recently, just put it this way. So the judge said that the SEC needed to release these documents, right? And the SEC had actually, I think they were told to release these documents like 4 months ago, and the SEC has basically been, delaying. Well, the judge just told Ripple that they had to release these other emails that was SEC evidence, right? So the judge told Ripple to release the documents. The next day, Ripple gave the documents, and we just got to see them yesterday. And basically, all it is there's one email of Brad Garlinghouse talking to all the employees of Ripple, right? And all he's saying is that we're trying to make XRP more decentralized. All it basically said was, what Ripple's been trying to do as a business. We're trying to make, XRP more decentralized. We're trying to make, we're trying to grow in other countries. We're trying to spread the, get a market in Japan. We're trying to grow the market in the Middle East. So there was literally nothing damaging in these emails. Another email was Chris Larson, the owner of Ripple, talking to a random. So this is kind of funny. So an XRP community member somehow got Chris Larson's email and wrote him a letter saying, who are all these big whales, XRP whales, dumping on top of us? And they were like, it was probably like Jeb McCaleb or something. But then Chris Larson actually returned the email to this random person. And he told them, you know, Ripple is basically trying to build an ecosystem around XRP, and basically told them, you know, Ripple's, their whole idea of what they're trying to do is, you know, they're trying to get into Swift's market. You know, the Swift market is worth, you know, cross-border payments is like $100 trillion company, or $100 trillion system. So what he told the guy was, we're trying to basically break into Swift's business. And obviously, if we get some of that business, the value of XRP will go up. So the SEC is trying to say, oh, it's look, you just told that investor that, you know, that you guys somehow control the price of XRP, but we all know that they don't. You know, when Ripple had big news in the past, XRP never moved. Like there was nothing. Ripple never controlled the price of XRP. The XRP always moved with the market.
What about
as it always has been? The market moves with Bitcoin, and that's the big thing that the SEC has been saying, is that it was an investment contract because everything you guys did was trying to benefit XRP. But that's not the case. You know, they were trying to utilize XRP as a bridge currency in their business model, but they weren't. You know, when people bought XRP, they weren't buying a part of Ripple, and everybody knew that.
You sound really smart. Yeah, you make me look good on this channel. I like that. Peter, you did good. You made a good one, Peter. Your whole family's watching. Andrew said it's pretty cool. Shout out to the Sulos, man. I love y'all.
What's up, Sulo fam?
You know, what about the idea too that there was a class action lawsuit by the Ripple holders saying that the SEC was damaging the Ripple holders?
So this is so funny. So John Deaton is the attorney that's representing these. I think it's up to like 65,000 XRP holders now, and I guess he brought the lawsuit because the day the lawsuit came down, it was Christmas Eve of 2021. Basically, he looked at the document of the case, and it said the SEC was trying to say that XRP itself, not that Ripple sold XRP as a security. They were trying to argue that XRP, the coin itself, is a security, which goes against everything that even the Howey test. If anybody knows what the Howey test was, it was they were trying to argue that XRP. So basically, what the Howey test was is it was Orange Grove, right? And they basically they said the orange itself is not a security, but a company selling the orange in a certain way makes it a security. So in the Howey test itself says that the orange itself is not a security. So in crypto, the coin itself can never be a security. It's, you know, a company can sell it as a security, can treat it as a security, but the coin itself is never the security. But the fact that the SEC made their whole argument in this case that XRP itself was a security, that's why John Deaton was like, no, this doesn't make any sense. You're just going to hurt investors. And exactly what happened when they came down with the lawsuit, they hurt, you know, hundreds of thousands of XRP investors got ruined. It went from like 60 cents all the way down to, I think, almost 11 cents. So
let's ask the people, what do they think would have happened? Everyone, I want you to know in the comment section, what would the price of XRP be right now if the SEC had not intervened? What would have been the high? What do you think it would be today? And when Bitcoin hit 69,000, what would have been the price of XRP? I truly believe it would have went to like $3.60, $4 somewhere in that region. That's what I think. And I think right now I'd be sitting at like $2.60, $2.70.
Sam,
maybe a $5 pump or something like that. But I want to know in the comment section, how much do you think XRP would be right now today? And what would have been the high had the SEC not intervened into XRP? Let me see in the comment section below. I want to see what you guys have to think.
And Sam, we've talked about this. We've talked about this before about XRP. Remember, XRP led this bull market at the beginning of or the end of 2020. XRP ran up to 60 cents. I remember I was down in Costa Rica, and it was like one of the leading assets that finally led the market. Right?
It can't be my mic. It's got to be the connection.
You got some crispiness.
Something's wrong with the connection, Porter.
Audio problems finally led the market, right? You guys good? Check. Now Muser is cracking. Damn it.
It can't be us because like I go live every day the same way.
Yeah.
It's got to be somewhere through the rendezvous.
Well,
I dropped my mic volume down a little bit there.
Check. Let us know, guys. Viper's crackling huge. Your mic crispy. Check.
1 2 1 2. Porta, Let me see what he's saying there.
Views are good. Lifer is not good. Muser is fine.
I think it was too much screens. We're taking up too much bandwidth. It's taking up too much bandwidth. It was eating through the audio. That's all it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where was I there? I forget.
I'm using XLR cables. Get out of here, bullish on parade. Don't do that. RCA. This guy. All right. I want to hear everyone. What do you think of Ripple? No one answered the question. Like, I saw one person answer the question. Like, we got 178 people watching. We had 210 at one point. And can we get the likes up to the watchers, please? And not even a super chat for my guy, XRP Muser. Send him some love, man. Let him know you care. He comes out here every time, and he does a lot. You can see he does a lot of research. I mean, he talked for 60
I'm honestly addicted to this. I'm in the
$5 sitting at 190 today.
Doing research. So back to so what I was saying is XRP kind of led this bull market, and without this lawsuit, if you think about
they couldn't hear us. Wait, go back. You do it. Ask them if the SEC did not intervene, where would the price of Ripple be right now today, and where would the high have been when Bitcoin went to like 69, almost 70K? I believe it would have pierced $5, and I believe we'd be sitting at like 250, 210, somewhere around there right now.
So XRP was the only one in the top 10 that didn't break its all-time high. So what I was saying was at the end of November there in 2020, XRP went up to 60 cents, almost hit 80 cents, and then settled down at 60 something cents. And then it was, then Bitcoin started moving, and then the whole market started moving, and then the lawsuit came down Christmas Eve. And then what happened after that lawsuit? XRP started tanking, but the whole rest of the market started its bull run. And that's what started that. Remember, that started that year. And then,
XRP actually started the bull run.
That's what I'm saying.
October, remember, it was flying. Like, it was like, I was to 89. I was like, whoa. And I was like, this is what it's going to be like.
And that's the thing about XRP. When it moves fast. Like, I was down in Costa Rica, and within 2 weeks, it went from 22 cents to 80 cents within 2 weeks. So I think easily it would have, stayed in that 60 cent range. And then, with Bitcoin and Ethereum and everything else, it would have easily broke its all-time high and maybe got to $5, $6. Who knows?
I told XRP Muser if he couldn't raise over $20 in super chats, he couldn't eat today. All right. So
come on,
we got a $20 super chat came in. I think you can eat now. We can buy you a hoagie. All right. Thank God. Oh, man. Tokyo Sexual, we're showing me up. Thank you, Ronnie Robinson, for the $1.99. Thank you, Tokyo Sexual. We got $5.89, $3 now. A lot of people think we'd be $3.33. Funny. High, possibly 5 to 7 bangers. It hit $2, $3.33. Funny.
Well, here's the thing about XRP too. It moves so fast. So when the day people give up on an asset is when it finally pumps, right? When you're like, you see everything around you moving, and you get the FOMO, and that's the worst thing you could possibly do is that you have certain coins and everything else starts booming around you, and you're like, oh, I need to get into that, I need to get in that, and you start chasing green candles. That's how you get wrecked in this market. So it's about keeping calm and being patient, because these assets, if you do your research and you do everything correct the way you should in this market, it's about patience. And with XRP, it's tested my patience for sure. I've been in this thing for almost 5 years now. And, I'm at this point, I'll wait, a month, 6 months, a year. I know it's going to happen at some point. So it's all about me being patient. And with this lawsuit, it's going to end at some point. So it could end, next week, could end next month. But at some point when this thing ends, like I said, XRP will be the only asset that has clarity in the whole crypto asset class. XRP will be the only one. I mean, you could say that Ethereum and Bitcoin have some clarity, but literally from the SEC, the XRP will be the one asset that has clarity in the market. So what do you think that would do with institutions, and the average investor will be like, well, that's safe to buy. I mean, I might as well get a piece. So the FOMO will be crazy. I think that we get to easily pass all-time high and maybe even shoot up to like $6, $8, $10. I mean, really, we know how fast this market can move. So never say that, it can't get to this price. That's what they said in 2017. Sam knows this, better than most. No one thought Litecoin was going to get to where it got. No one thought, when Bitcoin was sitting there at, 3,000, no one thought that it could go to 20,000 within a month. Like, people get so caught up in the day to day.
I thought it was going to $1 million by then.
Well, but like no one thinks about it until actually it does it, and then they say, "Oh, I've been saying that all along." It's like it happens so quick that people's emotions take over, and they're like, "Oh, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do." It's like if you get your ducks in order, and get your sell orders ready, and get your price targets and when you want to sell, you have to have a plan, because it happens so fast where it's like, if you're not, if your emotions take over and you're doing the wrong things and all of a sudden it tanks, then you missed your opportunity. So like the market will go sideways and down and up and sideways for so long, but in that 2 weeks to a month period, all of a sudden, that's the big time where you got to take profits. So just know that everybody out there, have a plan, have a plan set up so that when it does happen, your emotions don't take over and it just, you mess it up. So have a plan set, have price targets, have sell orders set to where you want to sell. Because Sam knows, like I said, things happen fast and like you don't know what to do, and all of a sudden you missed it. That's the biggest thing in this market. You'll have those regrets of like, oh man, I should have sold at this price. I wish I didn't sell all of it at this price and then went up another 200%. It's like if you have a set plan for yourself, when those things do happen.
It's funny. Not financial advice, right? We're not financial advisors, but
never.
The humble plan. How's the mic now? Mic all right, everybody?
Everybody good?
My mic's bad. I'm just gonna step out and let the user end it. Is the mic okay?
That was me.
Good mic?
Good mic. Music hit the dollar menu.
Yeah, that's funny.
Thanks, Michael Miller.
Hey, that was life for a long time, man.
Yo, man, I like the McChickens. I lived off of those.
Dude, I had the snack wrap for $1. 2 of those for like $2.25 and change. I was like 24, living in Spanish Harlem. It was so bad.
Yeah,
I did like 1 or 2 of those a day. That was it, and I'd fat. I
lived off of ramen for a good month.
Last thing, I want to wrap this up, right? But one thing I want to talk about here is there's the articles are coming out again. 100K by June, right? Bitcoin 100K by June. Some like I think some Samsung guy or someone came out today. Articles coming out 100K by June. Bitcoin boom. Is there a way the Bitcoin price to hit 100K in 2022? And does anyone think we could hit 100K? Oh, it sucks now. Damn, man. I guess my is bad, man.
All right. Well, you put that question out, so I'll answer that question.
I'm going to step on out. Everyone have a great time. Musa's going to end this, and he's going to say goodbye and all that. Make sure you do the Crypto is Life and, subscribe and all that fun stuff. Plug your own channel. But everyone, I'll see you tonight. And, I'll talk real quiet.
Well, I'll take Crypto Lifer's cue there. With the market, do people think it's actually going to go hit? We're going to hit? Is it more likely to hit 100,000 in 22 or more likely to hit 20,000 in 22? Let's put that question up. Because my thoughts on the whole thing is, I'm like 70%, 30%. I think 70% of me thinks that we hit our all-time high, at 69,000. I believe that's what it was, and that we made our initial drop. Obviously, we corrected about 50%, and then now we're just going to slowly make our retrace back to that 702.50, back at like 56, 58,000. And I think when we get there, everybody's going to be then for sure. Everybody's going to be crying 100,000, 200,000 again, and then that will be when a lot of people, it does happen. We have a blow off top there, and some people get wrecked in that process because, when we do make that retrace, everybody and their mother is going to be calling for 100,000.
It's not that bad.
Speak really softly. So I think that retrace back up to 56, 58, I think that alt season will come in, because I feel like we're going to have that, like the last 2 bull cycles, we've had that, that crazy time where everybody's getting into the market and getting into the altcoins, and one after another, one altcoin after another just keeps going and going. That euphoria, part of the market that we haven't had yet. We haven't had that ultimate euphoria moment where everybody is going crazy. And I think that if you look at human psychology, history repeats itself, right? I don't think this time is different. I believe that we're going to have that same thing. I think the market is still so speculative, right? Fundamentals really aren't a big thing in this market yet, and I believe it will in the future. But today, it's all about, it's a gamble for most people. Everybody wants to get rich quick. So if they start seeing the market booming, then you're going to see random people, everybody get back in the market, chasing green candles everywhere. It's going to be a euphoria-filled craziness in the market with these altcoins. So it's all about, like I said before, to have a plan when that does happen, because what I'm saying is in that retrace with Bitcoin, it's going to retrace to those levels, 56, 58,000, and everybody and their mother is going to be crying 100,000. And at that point, not financial advice, but that's when I'm going to be taking profits. And then I feel like we hit that retrace level, and then we continue down into a bear market for the next. And I don't think this bear market's going to be as long as the past bear markets, because there's so much big money in this now. The institutions are involved, and it's just a different market than it was 4 years ago, you know? So I believe it will be like a 6 months to a year bear market where, you know, price will probably go down about 80%. Maybe I think Bitcoin will be like 16,000. I think might be the low, is what I'm calling. And then, you know, that'll be the time where hopefully if you take profits at the right time and then we get into a bear market, everybody knows, or you should know that, you know, the real people make the money in bear markets, right? Millionaires are made in bear markets. You know, if you sell at the top or close to the top, you're never going to sell the top. But if you take some profits and then in a bear market start loading up again, I mean, this is the type of thing you need to be thinking about, because those bear markets is, like I said, is when the millionaires are made. So that's my idea. I mean, like I said, that's 70%, 30% still says, you know, I'm not going to say it couldn't happen. You know, we still could get another all-time high. You know, Bitcoin could break past that retracement level at 58. You know, we have a crazy black swan event where, you know, the world all of a sudden says crypto is the future. And then we pump up to, you know, 100, 120,000. You know, I'm not going to say that couldn't happen, because it definitely could. But like I said, I'm 70-30, you know, 70%. We're basically in the process of getting into it. We're in a bear market, or Bitcoin is in a bear market, and the rest of the alts are still getting ready for their last final wave. But, you know, like I said, 30%, you know, Bitcoin definitely could get past 100,000. I mean, you can't take it off the table, right? You have to have, you can't be 100% in one way, because everybody knows in this market, you never really know what could happen. Everybody was crying when obviously when Bitcoin was at 69,000, no one thought we were going to retrace 50%.
I love this guy said.
Everybody was calling 120, 200,000. What are they saying?
Is the mic still bad? Is the mic bad?
How's everybody here in Lifer? DCA combined with fear was a good lesson.
I don't want to talk if it's bad. Rodney, is the mic bad?
Don't forget.
It's
Can't hear
low.
Lifer.
How's that? Now I don't want to go too high. Everyone's like, I can't hear him, but I'm afraid if I go too high.
T-Money, the revolution has begun. So true, man.
All right, everyone. Miser, you did amazing. I'm always amazed, man. You jump on and you don't use like or a lot. You're very well spoken.
You know what I found out that I use a lot is I watch my videos. I watch my videos all the time, and I use what do I do? I forget what it was. For sure. So what do I say? I say all the time. And this, and this. And
it's better than and though.
I guess so. But it's so funny when you start making videos and you start hearing yourself. First of all, everybody hates the sound of their own voice, right? But I also like notice that, I have a little lisp sometimes if I'm not like drinking my water or something. And then if I know that I say, a lot, it's like, it's because I've never done this before. Obviously, I've never been a tech guy. I've never been I've just never thought I would ever do this. But, with Crypto Lifer, Sam, my best friend here, he really motivated me to do this. And, I've been a chef. I've been in the restaurant business for 20 years of my life. I was a chef for 6 years. I busted my ass for so many years, but working 90 hours a week. And I realized, I don't need to do that anymore, man. Like, I'm in a space and I'm like happy what I'm doing right now. And like, I don't need to bust my ass making, I'd make pretty good money, but nothing compared to what I can make, working in this crypto space. So, Sam has really motivated me to start my own channel. And like I said, each day I'm getting better and better because it's so new to me, obviously. And I'm not a tech guy. So like I'm figuring out how to use iMovie and use these different apps that I just didn't know. I didn't know how to make a thumbnail. Look at this, shout out.
Hey.
High five.
The whole family.
Just another excuse, guys, if you didn't think that I'm at the Lifer's house here.
We're here.
It's all love here, baby. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. You can find out when we post our next video. Follow Crypto Muser.
Crypto Muser, guys.
Check
me out. Try to put a video out every day.
Yeah.
So on the count of 3.
Oh no. She doesn't know him. Oh no.
Oh, you remember me. You were getting so big.
Hey, don't kick me. All right. Let's go eat.
Isn't this nice, guys?
1, 2, 3.
Ready?
Crypto is